We got him, y'all. We got him. And I don't know how any of y'all can sit up here and defend it. Yes, we know how great he is, but Ant-Man just said it. And Jalen Brunson and him is trying to catch it before we get to the playoffs. Like, yo, bro, Ant-Man just said it. Karl-Anthony Towns, every game you can book it. It's 3 offensive fouls, 4 offensive fouls. 2 of them is non-contact. He don't know how to set a screen correctly. How do we ignore that? Fabian, I love you to death. I don't know what better defense you're talking about. I'm sorry. I don't want to argue. We can do it another day. I just don't know what you're talking about. I'm just being honest with you. We need Cat to win, but we need Cat to stay on the floor. I'm tired of Tom Thibodeau's bad coaching got covered up because we were winning basketball games. And that was because of Jalen Brunson. Paul Anthony Towns this season, his bad play is getting covered up because what Jalen Brunson is doing on the basketball court.
But hold on,
Enough is enough.
that's not just Jalen Brunson, because Jalen Brunson is worse on the defensive end than Karl-Anthony Towns. That's not
All
even
right.
close.
And I agree to that. But you know how Jalen Brunson makes it up? On the other end of the floor by
I-
hitting game winners and keeping us in the game. And like Flea said, being the best player in the league when it comes to clutch time.
right, but don't say that it's only Jalen Brunson covering this up. It's the whole team. It's not just him, because if it was just on Jalen Brunson, we wouldn't be playing no damn defense. So what you don't see with Karl-Anthony Towns, it's there when he's on the court. He's showing you. No, is it the greatest? Is he Mutombo? Is he Mitchell Robinson? He's not these guys. I'm not saying he's any of that, but he's still, from what we saw last year, this is not totally different, but it's way better defensively. At least he's sliding his feet, keeping his hands up. He's trying something different. I'm not saying he's going to be all defensive caliber player. That's not what he is. But we
Yo, he
get
can't keep
that.
his hand to himself. Like he
Right. But if he starts doing that, now all of a sudden it's a different level. Now we're talking about, all right, who wants it? Now we're talking about Denver. I don't care. And Shaw, God bless Joker. He's out for a month with a knee injury. But it won't even matter. Now I'm totally
what you
confident. This is
what
a
you
part.
just what you got blessing Joker for? He don't play for the Knicks.
I'm just trying. I want to see the best at their best. I want to see the best at their best. He's supposed to be the Joker stopper. I want to see the Joker
Blessing
stop at
him.
his best. Fuck
God
that.
don't bless him. God bless the Knicks. Fuck about no Joker.
But I do think he has improved in those ways. He
Mind your
made a lot
business,
of
Flea.
strides. But
I'm
I
quiet, baby.
if he listens to Jalen Brunson, and then the other thing with that is Brunson and Hart and Mike Brown, those are the guys that do talk to the refs. When we see them talking, it's like they don't have they don't have this, like, Josh Hart sounds crazy, but I see Jalen Brunson controlling himself when he talks to the ref. He might yell, but he goes, touches his shoulder. He just talks to him a certain way. You saw Jordan politicking like that with all the great players do that. And Karl-Anthony Towns is taking it way, not just personally, he's being way too defensive. I forgot which one of you guys said that. You're being way too defensive about some shit that you're doing. You can't be wrong and strong, especially when they're showing you how to talk to the ref. We saw Jalen Brunson interrupt Karl-Anthony Towns talking to the ref after a game. Bro, you know how to do this. You over here complaining to them. They're not gonna change the call. That is the rule. So this is part of the frustrating thing. And I just think if he changes that up, we're a totally different ball club. We won't have these third quarters anymore. You ain't got to worry about having three fouls in the third quarter. This is a different level.
At some point, right, we talking about a Karl-Anthony Towns, a big 7-footer, 260 plus pounds, 10-year player. We expecting Cat to be better going forward. Like we're expecting Cat to, like, have we seen the best of Cat? At some point, is he going to become an MVP caliber player? No. So what we're getting out of him right now, for me, is like, maybe this is who he is at this point. He was 25-12 his entire career for a decade straight. He comes to the Knicks, had a pretty damn good year last year for us. But at what point do we start being honest just about who he is as a player, right? As instead of the expectation, because he's a number one pick, because he's so talented, because he could shoot the three, because he's a matchup nightmare. I don't give a fuck about that. What I'm saying right now is that maybe he is just 20-12, a really, really good big at this point, an all-star level big, And he's just going to be there to help us win and not be this like top best big in the league. Maybe that's who he is at this point. And we got to start really looking at who he is as opposed to what we want him to be. So, that's where I'm at with him at this point. I ain't expecting Cat to be 30 and 20 every night. That nigga ain't that no more.
Yeah, but one last point. Both of y'all make great points. To me, that's a whole nother conversation. The point that I think Ant-Man, Brunson, and me is trying to make, bro, we need you. So you have to stay on the floor. You have to be smart enough to understand, bro, keep your hands to yourself. When you got the ball, stop swinging that off arm and getting offensive fouls. That to me, like I said, both of y'all make great points. Y'all are 100% correct. But the fact of the matter is, Ant-Man just broke it down. Jalen Brunson, we watch the Knicks all the time. Bro, you've been in the league too long. You too talented of a player. You too important to us to where you can't stay on the floor. Especially when 90% of it is honestly your fault. You do offensive foul. You do wear that arm. You do when you drop to the basket. They don't even call those fouls on you when you push off. They just don't give you the call. Bro, every time you set a pick, you don't know how to set a pick correctly. Bro, we need you. Stop committing dumb fouls. I think that's all this shit is about. But I agree with both of y'all. I'm not expecting him to be a great defender. I'm not expecting him to be an MVP player. I'm not expecting him to average 30 12. I'm expecting him to play smart basketball and stop doing dumb shit. Like I said, you can book it. In the first quarter, Cat is going to commit 2 fouls. Every game. So what happens when he got 4 fouls going into the first half? So it's just he got to smarten up on the as far as when it comes to that. But y'all both are correct.
And I'm always big on I just do what they tend to do, Flea. And so I understand what you're saying. That's me. I try to be my expectations are whatever you've been doing, that's who you are. But if that's a small tweak for him. And I would expect him when if he's averaging 22 right now, 23, you could average 25, 26 by not committing these fouls. You could average maybe a rebound more a game, even if it's a half a rebound more, by just staying on the floor. Like you're giving up. Like the same way Draymond walked out of the huddle and that's giving up by not understanding what the hell they're saying. And speaking of Draymond, he's the one that said that he played Melo and Melo got fouled on the play, whatever he did, and he balked on the ref. Yo, fucking call that. Next time down court, he did the same exact play, and the ref called it. Cat also doesn't have the relationship with the referees. That's bottom line with that. He has to be way more assertive. Maybe not with his talk, because again, I don't know how Tim Duncan was when he spoke to the refs, but your game has to change. I don't really see a change in his game. That's really my biggest problem with Karl-Anthony Towns. If they're calling that play, why? If you're that talented, why aren't you going to try something different? Especially the craziest part about this to me is the fact that you had this many more opportunities on offense than last year. Mike Brown he specifically said, bro, you're going to be the one in all these different spots on the court. So you have every chance in the world to try something new on all these spots on the court. And everybody does, because we see Jalen Brunson going more off ball. But Flea, I just don't. I'm with you. I'm usually with you. I expect him to be this guy for the time being, or for however long he's going to be in the NBA. But if he makes that small change, it changes everything, man.
I hear OG always talk about, big shout out to Booger Smith, right? If you don't know who Booger Smith is, just go do your homework. We're not about to tell you who Booger Smith is, but he always talks about Booger Smith and being that point guard, right? And Booger Smith always talks about getting the ball to the big. Let the big touch it, right? We talk about Mitchell Robinson and getting the type of production out of him that we need. Sometimes we need to let him touch it, throw a couple lobs at the rim, that type of thing, right? But the same thing can go for Karl-Anthony Towns. What do I mean by that? The game starts last night. They feature Mohamed Diawara. They feature him because he's the rookie, he's the young guy, so we want to get him comfortable instead of featuring Karl-Anthony Towns with who the hell is going to guard Cat on the New Orleans Pelicans? Who? For the first 3 possessions. So what I'm saying is there's got to be a little bit of give and take if we are expecting him to play at a bigger level. There's got to be some give and take. Mike Brown, you may need to call his number early in games. Brunson, you know that you could get it going. You may need to say, if you're the leader, if you're asking him to do some things, maybe you need to ask yourself to do some things, which is let him touch it the first 2-3 times down and see what we could get. I'm just saying, like, if we have expectations out of him, which is fine, maybe we need to have expectations out of the rest of what we're doing, because you can shout out Booker Smith all you want. Jalen Brunson is 10 times whatever Booker was. He's the point guard. He cat the rock.
You up here insinuating Anthony Towns is committing offensive fouls on purpose because he's not getting the ball? Mitchell Robinson, get us out of here, man.
Y'all know what this was, man.
Knicks Rehab.
Knicks Rehab, y'all.